and welcome back to another episode of Flicking with Skip. I believe that this is the fourth or fifth official episode, and I am here with our co-host Curtis Wolff, who you've met in previous episodes. I think it was on Chandler that we met, and then also here with Ocean Alvarado, who is a friend of ours. We found out who is lives right next door almost to our co-host. So Ocean is an improviser and we're glad to have him here with us as we talk horror on tonight's podcast, trying to get the pecker to move through space. So we got big plans. We're excited to hang out and get some of this done. And Ocean, how are you doing, man?
Oh, hello. That was a really good. That was a really good intro. I'm
Oh,
terrible at introing things.
thanks. I was trying to do it badly, and it came. I just like, all right, follow the fear, and it kind of worked out
Very
Yeah,
for me. So
professional.
yeah.
thank you guys. I'm glad to have you guys here with me. It wouldn't be a podcast if it wasn't hanging out with friends. So,
Oh, yeah. Usually, someone says like, "Oh, you've got a voice for radio." That could be like a bad thing, but it's like, no, that was good. That was a very. That was a good intro. Hi.
you know what? The reason I like doing voiceovers, you can't see the videos, you can't see me blushing when people compliment me because it's, uh, I'm not used to that. I'm such a self critic that the only thing I take as love is when I'm being like verbally abused. So, as much as I appreciate it, thank you. And we can keep
No,
rolling. Let's talk about you.
that,
Do you want to shout out your socials, so that people can find out who you are, where you are, and the shows you have going up?
oof. I don't use Instagram enough to remember my Instagram name.
Okay.
On Facebook, just Ocean Alvarado. The venue space is called Cups of Art. It's in downtown Toledo. It's right by the Toledo Farmers Market. It's on Erie Street. It's like attached to Libby Glass outlet store. It's a lot of fun. If I start talking about it, I'll talk about it for hours and hours. But yeah,
Sweet.
Cups of Art. I would say go check out their page. They do tons of other events other than what I do.
So that was one of the questions I was going to ask you if that was your own place, Cups of Art, or it is someone else's. But you said that's a bar that you get to spend a lot of the time at.
Yeah, yeah. So it's an art gallery. The owner's name is Keisha Key on Facebook. I don't know. Do you know a comedian, a Toledo comedian named Josh Richardson? Um, you know him? He knows
I,
Aaron.
I don't personally. Curtis, do you know a comedian? That comedian?
What's his name?
Josh Richardson,
Oh,
glasses,
yeah,
super.
I know Josh.
Yeah. So Josh had a show at Cups of Art. He had a shipyard comedy show that my girlfriend was in. I don't know, like May, I think. And it just seemed like an awesome space. So Keisha was there. I talked to Keisha after his show was done, and it's like $100 a month for 4 event hours. So yeah, kind of everything just kind of fell into place. We have a lot of people in Toledo that want to play around and want to do more improv, but we don't have a lot of spaces for it. So I mean, yeah, Keisha Key, that's a huge thank you. Josh Richardson, huge thank you. I wouldn't have been there if we hadn't had a show there first.
Yeah, improv is definitely its own art form. I don't know if I could do improv. I mean, I'd do my own improv in a way, but I've seen
Mhm.
what real improv places do. They're very much more skit like, you know, which is
Yeah, you talk
cool.
about
I don't
the
I
long
just
form
don't
improv. Yeah, 100%. It's
and
definitely
they
a
have
different
like a
skill.
lot of they have a lot of props and everything. Like it's very much more artsy than like just doing a regular stand-up comedian act. Like you can improvise with stand-up and you can do faces and do voices and kind of do skits, but you don't really have much to work with other than a mic and your fucking face and body language,
That's
Mhm.
unless
true.
you're
There.
like carrot top in this bitch. You have a bucket of props or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
improv definitely. It's kind of down to the theater that you're playing at or that you're trained at. So like, I do. I'm lucky to be on the border between two states because I got trained here in Toledo. I got trained at Glass City Improv, but I consistently play in Michigan, and I haven't taken any classes in Michigan. But I got to see very
Did
viscerally how three different theaters will play differently from each other. Us, Ann Arbor, and Detroit. are wholly different, and we all do comedy improv, but like it would take me a minute to adjust, just like tonally, to like, oh, this audience doesn't like it when we play Blue, or like in Toledo, you can do a lot of yelling. You can get away with a lot of yelling and a lot of cursing that you can't really get away with like in Ann Arbor.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
That's surprising.
yeah, it and like you could get away with it, but I definitely have noticed that I can play way more Blue in Toledo. You can get a big laugh with
Well,
cum jokes that you can
well,
get
that's
silent in Ann Arbor.
And you're like, all
see.
right, crickets, good deal.
I feel like every art form has different areas, like specifically, because like people were telling me about Michigan clubs where it's harder. You really gotta be funny. You gotta be there. They're much more gritty. The audiences, they're like they'll fucking boo you. They won't boo you in Toledo. They won't boo you in Perrysburg or anywhere in Ohio, but Michigan, they said, there's some tough clubs. But I'm totally down for that because I'd rather have that than college kids. I'd rather have urban just audiences that are just down to laugh at something fucked up
Curtis, you
versus
know what I
people
forgot
that
to
are like,
do?
oh,
Was I forgot to introduce that you are also a stand-up comedian, also and as a co-host. Do you want to shout out your socials so that people can check you out on TikTok and the other places that you're at?
yeah, sure. On TikTok, I am Wolf underscore productions dot 98. I post everything there. I do all my sets first there, and then I take it to Facebook or whatnot. I also post like memes and just funny shit, whatever I want to make. I put it on TikTok. I
Nice.
don't got a lot of followers yet. I got more on Facebook. On Facebook, my name is Curtis Wolff. Uh, it should pop up. I'm right there. I do the same thing, but it's Facebook. So, and then other than that, I mean, Instagram is what is my Instagram? Curtis underscore Wolf 98, which is I need to start posting more shit on Instagram, but that's about all I got. I mean, I got a YouTube channel too. If you want to hit that up, it's the Wolf 1201, and I don't really post too much on it much anymore, but I got to get back to it. But we'll see what happens.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely improv and stand up. While they both are a form of comedy, it's just so crazy how different they both are from each other. Because as an improviser, I was trained in Chicago under the Annoyance and Improv Olympic in the early like 2000s to 2010.
Well, that's
And so,
cool.
yeah, and then that was my only experience, but I've reached out now to like other improvisers from around the world and getting in contact with them and just realizing like how different everybody plays the form or plays. You could say like saying improv is the same as like saying I play music because then you have to get into like what type of games you play and like who you're with and what the dynamic is. I think is what you were saying, Osha.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy. Yeah, is that they are
Uh,
overwhelmingly it's improv comedy, but it like the hard split between like short form and long form is yeah, those are different. Those are entirely different genres. I didn't like long form when I first started just like watching live improv
Fair.
because it felt scary. Like it felt scary that they were doing that for like 20 minutes, and I wanted it to end as soon as possible
Yeah,
because I
exactly.
liked every. Yeah, and short form is like, oh my God, it's like a Tommy gun. It's just jokes and accents, just like 150 per minute.
Right,
Uh,
right. You do the bits, and that's what you're doing is a short form show or a collection of short form shows at the Cups of Art.
yeah, yeah. I
That's
kind of just
awesome.
made it up. Yeah, it's just called Impulse, the improv comedy show, because
Well,
there's really not like an improv scene in Toledo. So I just wanted to make something for people. If you've never seen an improv show, I tailored it to that. Very big. It's very loud. It's very quick. Uh, yeah, short form.
gotcha. 100%. And audience friendly because you can get people who are not they're like maybe they got a couple drinks in or they're just like willing to try something. That's why they've come out and they're not committed to doing a show of 25 minutes. They're just playing a game for putting a hat on and doing a voice, like Curtis was saying. So that's pretty cool. Um, Now you play on a
Yeah,
team called Bingo Rich also.
yeah, I am. I'm on. Did I tell you that?
No, it's I was I don't mean to be weird, but there's public access to information, and when people come on, I like to know a little bit about them, so we have something to talk about. And since you post it, I figured you must at least enjoy it. So just know that, guys, if you go to coxinspace.com and you go into our Facebook group and get in touch with Aaron Cosbiel, you want to come on the show to talk about all the things you want to talk about, I will do research on you because I find people fascinating. So.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
is that an embarrassing fact that I brought up? I didn't mean to to shock you.
No, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's just because we're sort of the only other improv team around here, and it's not a name that has it's not a team name that has anyone's names attached to it, really. So I was like,
I get
shit.
you.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. I was like, were you at for shows?
Yeah, because you had shows that came up recently, right? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. We just played on July 26th at the Valentine. There was a show. One of my teammates was in a show in Ann Arbor that had wrapped up, and they were doing another show of it here. Sort of, I don't know, just like another finale of it, but in Toledo. It was like an improvised dating show. But
That's what I was
since
saying.
we're on the
Okay.
team with him,
No, you're good.
yeah,
You're good. I was trying to remember exactly what show it was because I had done a lot of looking at different things. So yeah, it was the improvised dating show. So thank you. Yes.
yeah, and it was called Love Fools. It was really fun. We'd opened for it, I think 2 or 3 times. It's awesome. Everybody, just to speak super honestly about it,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
started improv like a year ago,
Oh
and
wow.
everybody that's on my team, I know, like I haven't been doing it for very long, but like I just kept getting new opportunities. Everybody that's on my team, I found super intimidating a year ago. I got a lot of
Fair,
practice
fair.
at the free jam sessions that they had at the Valentine, and it's sort of where I met everybody I'm on a team with, and they were all so good. It made me like jealous. Like I was like, how many classes do I need to fucking take to get this funny, this good? Um,
What was the answer?
yeah,
Because I think I still want to know the answer. Have you found out what that is? Curtis, you want to know that too, right? Like how many classes it takes to get funny? Because I would like that.
Oh
yeah.
man, it'd be
Ocean,
like
can you
that
drop it
owl
on us?
just gives up and bites that bitch.
Yeah.
I think the answer is unlimited classes, so you could always be paying somebody. No,
Well,
yeah, everything's just
Well,
so good. It's so
that's the big
when I
right.
when I look at those classes, because I've seen workshops, and I assumed workshops were just little get-togethers. I didn't know that you had to pay for workshops, so I was like, I got a Scientology vibe off of those, because I'm like,
Uh,
you're not gonna
uh,
really probably teach me shit. You got to do this shit on your own for the most
hey,
part, or
I
have a
mean,
sense of humor enough.
facts being facts, yeah. Like you can know some things, but then you need to gain experience to be good at it. I think is what you're saying.
Yeah, like you could learn it by paper and like tests or however they want to teach you in a workshop or
Right.
practice or try to give you advice, but at the end of the day you have to do it and you have to do it good. Those classes, I mean, those are probably good for people that are like really just not good and they need help, but if you can make a joke, if you can write a joke out, then you're pretty much good. And if you know tones and know how to work the crowd, like you learn those as you go, kind of like it's all a learning experience. You don't really need to pay for it, and those are expensive. The one I was looking at was like 200 something dollars, and I'm like, Jesus, dude. And
There
I
is
mean, you might get something out of it, but
yeah, there is a definite
yeah.
price tag and quite a circuit in the comedy scene. I didn't realize that. Like I went to Chicago because I wanted to learn from the best teachers. That was my opinion to because if I was gonna go, like I wanted to know, what they thought, the ones who were doing it all the time, and so that was the reason why. But then, like, I began to notice that like everybody starts offering classes after a while, because that's
hmm,
the next next step. Um, it's a good steady income if you can't do the other things. That might be a hot
yeah.
take. Ocean, if you're offended
No,
by that,
no,
I do apologize. But
no. That's
I think it's with a lot of things too. Like if you didn't become a rock star, you teach the guitar. If you didn't become a great painter, you teach people how to paint.
Yeah, there's always avenues.
Yeah, like
I
you
would
get
be
to.
more of a. I would always. Well, I guess yeah, you can make bank if that's the price tag, and you get a class of 10 people. That's a shitload of money just to give the common sense uh type of how to basic basically on
Yeah,
comedy just to
exactly.
get you started. That's a good living for sure. But
If you can get it.
I want to be more of a promoter. I want to promote a place, build a place up. That's more my goal than teaching. I wouldn't want to teach. Plus, I don't want to teach. I don't want to teach somebody. Like it's enough seeing like the comics that I know that are they're not so good, and I'll give them advice. That's enough already. I don't need to do anything past that. I don't need to fucking teach you how to make jokes. Like I'm writing myself. I don't need to. I'm not a teacher. I wouldn't say.
And
Fuck
how
teaching.
and
Maybe when I'm older, you
yeah,
know.
how can you teach how to write a joke? I mean, you can teach structure, but that doesn't teach you how to tell a joke, right? Ocean, I think you were saying it doesn't teach you how to like read a room about how they're reacting to a joke.
Well, I feel like you can teach someone how to find themselves.
Yeah,
Like I can tell you how I can get you just a basic line, premise, joke, punchline, all that.
yeah.
But the way I'm going to tell it is going to be different than how you're going to tell it. Just our personalities and everything. You have to find that personality that works. I still don't even know if I found the one. Like I'm just different every time I come up sometimes. I'll be a whole different person because I haven't really fine tuned the one that's the most funniest, or I'll do a mix of it all into one set. It's just bonkers. I'm crazy,
You
but
know what's funny
you
about
have
the
to
two of
find
you
that
guys actually?
voice.
Sorry. Is that you guys are actually you've been Ocean, you've been improvising for about the same amount of time that Curtis has been a stand-up. Um, just under a year, right, for both of you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
a little.
started
Yeah,
April
So
24. I started improv.
So how do you feel?
yeah.
Have you felt like you've been learning more, Ocean, by getting on stage and with the people who are good, or by because you haven't taken classes and stuff, I imagine.
Yeah, I did one through three at
You
Glass
said
City,
class.
and then I retook them.
Nice.
Glass City Improv. Yeah. Um, I sort of found because I've gone to like a lot of jams, and I've gone to some free workshops and some paid workshops. I'm actually going to a workshop this Sunday, because Detroit Improv Festival is actually happening right now,
Oh,
which is
nice.
really
Okay,
exciting.
cool, cool.
I know. I think you get better by just doing it at all.
Yes.
My argument against a workshop is that I would argue that you get better from repetition instead of like yeah, like you guys are saying, just like a one-off. You pay $150 for a couple hours of a class from a teacher in a
You
different
might get
state.
one
Maybe
idea out of it, right?
yeah, like maybe they were like a writer on SNL for a couple of years, or they used
Right.
to be at Second City, and now you get them for a couple hours. But it's
Right.
like, no, I got better from having 8 weeks with the same people multiple times in a row, whether they were good or
Totally.
they were bad. Yeah, like you just have to get repetition and know your teammates. And like
Yeah, I
a
went
big
to. Oh, I'm
distinction,
sorry.
very good. Just the distinction in short to long form is that short form, you don't have to really know your teammates. It helps. It's like friends
Fair,
doing
fair.
banter. You're just like whatever, hanging out in Discord. Long form is like it's more like friends, like the show. Like you have to have chemistry beyond just oh, we vibe together well. You have to for a long form team, you got to practice a lot. Uh,
That's fair.
you got to practice a lot, or your scenes are going to be so odd.
I feel like that'd be really fun though. I'm not against improv. That sounds fun. I just have no idea where improv is or anything around here in Toledo. Uh, you
I
could
know that
probably
they
tell me about that more than I
do have a
could
pretty
search
sizable.
it. But when it comes to us, like the comedian side of it,
Mm-hmm.
like what I would call like my best example for like how a workshop sucks is because there's a club that we go to. It's a college bar. We all perform. There'll be like 15 comics, right? And there'll be an audience. Sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller, but we have an audience. And we all meet up at another bar after that. It's a late show. It's not really known. Nobody really goes there. The people that are there are just there to drink and play pool. They're not trying to see the show. And that's it's not very responsive. Like when you have an audience, you tell a joke, you see the audience doesn't laugh, the comedians might laugh, but you see no one else did. That helps you like, okay, that bit needs work. When you have a room full of just comedians, and I mean, I've seen dudes just bomb there too, which is really sad because usually a comedian laughs at just to support. So that's really sucks if you like super bomb. But like, you still don't really know if the joke is good because you don't have an audience. It's just your peers there with you. And I don't think a workshop is like always realistic. Like, what if you learn all this shit at a workshop and then you go to South Detroit and try and do a show and you just are like, you fucking suck, dude. Like, oh, I just paid $250. They told me well, you fucking suck. I'm like, I guess I suck. You know? Like I don't think it's not I'm not against people trying that for a first step if you're super nervous, but my best thing is to just get up there and do it. Just get up there and just try it, whether it's improv or stand up.
Yeah, exactly.
Classes.
I got into classes.
And then you said you have like short form and long form, so the short form improv is probably super easy to get into, like start off with, and then move to the long form.
Well, you were saying that, Ocean, you're saying that it's easier for you. You don't have to necessarily you can just like joke around with people in the short form setting. There's a vibe. You don't necessarily have to have like deeper relationships.
Yeah. Short form. Short form is sort of broken up into games. So it's like a lot of variation. To say it's like variations on like charades is like, oh, that would suck. But yeah, no, there's sort of a lot of them are like party.
Yeah.
We have like a
what's that like, fucking show called?
Whose line is it anyway?
Guess whose line is it? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an entirely short form show.
100% short form. And those guys, knock it out of the park. Ryan Seacrest, Colin Mockery, amazing.
I feel like that show is a little too PG-13 for me, but they are really witty. They are really quick.
Right. It's obviously tuned down for the network.
But I want an R-rated version of that, bro.
For sure.
Like,
they can deliver it. Those guys are hilarious.
Like Ricky Gervais, just get the best of the best comics and do a show every week or something,
Y'all, you guys heard it here first. If you want to have a show that's an R-rated, whose line is it anyway? You should comment below and see what we can make happen, because that's a really funny idea. And hell yes, I would love to see that show. Ocean, would you like to see that show as a show? Like a really like edgy. Whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, give me
that's basically whenever a comedian is on stage and is like, give me something to say, and someone's like, Jews. And it's like, well, and then they're like, you gotta do it.
You gotta do it. You gotta run with that bit. Yeah,
that just sounds fun. I like that, the bucket idea. I tried to give that to one of my promoters. He doesn't want to do it. But I was like, dude, like, especially for the shitty comedians that just need a little push when they run out of shit to say, they can just pull from the bucket. It's like audience members write down a suggested or a line or whatever, and you got to make a bit out of it.
So the audience feels participating.
That
just sounds fun.
It's an improv game. Yeah. It's lines from a hat. Yeah. When he told me that they played that at a stand up, I was like, haha, right. Like I know that you don't know that is a game that we play a lot too. It's a short form game. You just like give them something at least. Because what comes out of people's brains, this has always been my experience, but what comes out of people's brains is always really, really fascinating, especially when they're just pushed to it. And that's what makes improv so fascinating.
Or they're drunk. They might be drunk and stoned going to a comedy show.
Yeah, just the content.
Fucking fruity pebble titties.
And you're like, you gotta say it.
Guy.
You gotta say it.
It sounds like you're hungry and fucking fat fuck whoever you are.
Yeah,
I love doing improv. That shit has been the most fun. Whenever I have that. Whenever an audience member, because they're so random, you never know what someone's going to say. And it's fucking hilarious sometimes. I'll be dying, and then, like, it's better when I feel like I get loosened up when I can laugh. Like, if I'm saying my lines, usually I'm really serious, and I'll laugh at the end of the jokes and shit, but I was dying at a couple dudes. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. I love doing that shit. It's awesome.
Well, if you can get pretty good, it's a skill to figure out what a good
You gotta
suggestion
be
is.
quick. Just gotta be really,
Yeah.
really quick. I feel like,
That's an
which
interesting thought, Ocean. That you have to figure out what a good suggestion is, and when the fact is, you have to figure out how to make any suggestion into a good suggestion because you never know what spatula or dildo is popping out of people's mouths.
Yeah,
dude,
if
I
I
played
got
that
like
game with my girlfriend before I did stand up. Like a month before I went on stage for my first time, I was like, "Let me just play this game with you. You just say a word of anything, and I got to make a bit out of it, just to like be on my toes and shit, and just get in the setting mindset of it." And because I was super nervous, and I did it really well when I got in the mindset of like, all right, you're gonna say a word, I got to make something right away, and it's not that hard. It's not too difficult, especially if you practice it. Just got to think about the first thing that comes to your mind whenever you hear something. You think of whatever then like immediately. You got to have to be on your like. I don't know. Is everybody like that or not? Because like when you like say something to me, I think of something next right away. I'm like, oh shit. Like if you were like if we're talking about horror movies, like if you were like The Omen, I'd be like fucking crazy ass little kid,
Right.
fucking little bastard, satanic
Dude, I forgot
child,
about
fucking
how good that franchise is. Actually, The Omen. It just keeps getting better and
yeah.
better, in my opinion. Anyway, that's where we're actually that's a good segue to that. If you guys are down for it, because basically what we were saying the whole time is we love to play an improv game, and we have one now because we have a topic that we can run with as much as possible in all the directions. So Curtis, it sounds like you've done a whole lot of homework. Do you want to intro what you have on your mind?
Sure. Okay. You guys can hear me pretty good. The
Yeah,
volume all right?
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I should have said, Ocean, you cool with that? You down with switching gears?
yeah,
Since
I'll move on to
since
whatever.
I think we've all agreed we like to improvise. Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Okay. So I made a list. I made a list of every decade. Well, I just made a big ass list and then I fucking organized it with my ADHD ass. But I
Nice.
made a list of every decade, the biggest movies, and I came to the conclusion my favorite or just the best decade of horror movies. Now it was a toughie. It was a triple way fucking tie at one point, but
Okay. Well,
I
okay.
want to know what your
What
guys
was
is.
what was the three-way tie
Well,
for you?
that's I can't spoil it.
Oh,
This is what
okay, gotcha.
I'm gonna play a
You are
game
gonna
with you
reveal it
guys.
though. Okay, gotcha.
I'm gonna play a game with you guys. So
Okay, all
you
right.
guys name your favorite decades. We'll all have a favorite decade that we pick from, and we'll go
Mm,
through the set. And you're not gonna know my favorite until you guys say your favorite, and we run through whatever it is.
I like where you're going
That
with
sound
this.
cool?
Yeah, that sounds really good. When you say favorite, what do you mean exactly? Do you mean like favorite era of horror, or do you mean like what
Well,
exactly
I
are you
mean,
using as a definition of that?
kind of like both of that. Like
Okay.
your favorite films of horror, and I mean that would coincide with the best decade because
Damn,
it
dude.
was the best
You really,
best
okay. So
whatever
I'm
you
just
want to
gonna
say,
throw this
best
out.
stories.
Like my Asperger's or autism is like acting up like crazy because I'm like, oh man, but there's so many things. So I have so many favorites for different reasons. You know what I mean? So like they're all public because this is my here's what the
Well,
argument is happening in
it's
my
a tough
brain
question. You have
is
to really
yeah
think about it, like the
because
whole span of like 30 to 40 to 50 years. Like
well this
which
is the thing
it's a
is
tough
that
question.
I when like when I'm looking for a good fix, like I'm gonna watch like a '50s Vincent Price horror film because the classic era and the voiceovers and like the spooky music, and all the stuff that they do that they don't like go overboard on like gore and stuff like that because you just couldn't. They didn't have the effects to do those things yet. So like there's one thing, but I love the cinematography of the 60s and 70s horror, especially as they get into the cinema verite era, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where they're like literally slicing a dude's finger and chasing them around with cameras and stuff like that. That's an awesome era,
Well,
right? But 80s
well
is like classic, like the classic monster era, and like how can you not love the classic monster era?
well,
But the 90s turned the tropes, all the tropes on their head and began to explore comedy and horror in a different way. So like, what do you mean favorite? I love horror movies.
Hang on real quick.
see,
What about the
see, That's the tough question, man.
Oh, man.
That's why it's a tough question, because
I've been
you can
psyching
look
up
at
to
it
this
like
conversation
the
too,
way
but-
I look at horror. The way I look at horror is like you have the classics. You have the from 1930s to the 1940s.
Oh, yeah, I
we had
even
the
forgot that.
classic
Yeah, yeah.
Frankenstein, Mummy,
Yeah, yeah.
all that, Dracula, and those are iconic. And don't get me wrong, like even Nosferatu being a silent film is
Ooh.
iconic, but
and
those
classic,
aren't
yeah.
enough for a decade. We're talking really big decades, like the
okay.
60s.
Oh.
60s had like that, like they had Rosemary's Baby in the 60s. They had the Night of the Living Dead,
Mhm.
Birds. You know, you had horror, like a lot of Alfred Hitchcock type shit, and it was cool. Like Vertigo, like there was a lot of horror in the 60s, but the 70s it started getting a little more gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You had Halloween, slasher films. You know, you had there wasn't really much budgets. It was very cheesy.
See what I'm talking about? Yeah. I mean,
but there's
coming out at that time.
there's some good films with that.
Yeah.
There's some good ones. Phantasm is in the 70s as well.
Yeah, you're
Hills
right.
Have Eyes.
Yeah. The original one,
Deliverance.
not the remake, which is way better.
There's a lot in the 70s. You have Carrie,
See what I'm
Alien.
talking about? Okay,
You know,
okay.
70s have a list. It's not bad. But the 80s
And then you have
also
the
has
80s, though. Yeah.
They just went crazy, and they went gory. They went special effects wazoo. Everything got bigger and better. 80s were really cool. It was a bigger list. There was a lot of films in the 80s and a lot of classics. The 90s, I mean, they got a little more psychological in the 90s, but it was still like...
Well, it's more that they have
really
a soft
know-
part in my heart because of the psychological part,
They
but
had
also
some more-
the comedy part. Like they begin to explore what horror could be.
Well, like 90s, yeah, like you had Tales of the Crypt and everything that was like blending comedy with horror.
Oh,
And
yeah.
but
Also,
you
it's
also
very,
had like... But you
nostalgic
had like
thing.
serious stories, like you had Sleepy Hollow and The
Mhm.
Devil's Advocate and The
Nice.
Cube, like Interview with the Vampire and Bram Stoker's Dracula. These fucking movies were real serious horror. It wasn't cheesy like Freddy Krueger in the 80s.
See, this is what I'm talking about. That's where
kinda
like it has a
crazy.
real soft spot in my heart. Thank you for defining it. Yeah.
So it's like all these movies, all these decades, like even like The Prince of Darkness is serious as fuck. There's not much comedy. That was a 90s movie. But then if you go into like the 2000s and the 2010s, there's a lot of fucking good ass horror movies, but
Oh yeah.
I don't even know how to
you're right.
define past that. Like the 2000s
Like what it's become, yeah.
was a little more like they're like, I don't know, they're much more they could
Okay,
it was
so
much
2000
more random in the 2000s.
Yeah, 2010,
The 2010s
you have like the Final Girl, where like it's like so self-aware that the movie is about a trope. Like there's just like no extra thing in there. You're just like, we're gonna
Well-
watch this girl survive. You know what I mean? I mean, it's also a good movie. It's fun. It
was
yeah.
I feel like the 2000s were like to a degree pretty simple films, but pulled off great. But the 2010s, they brought
And also
things
there's,
like they
like-
did remakes.
Mhm.
They did just random stories that you don't expect, and it was more original than the. Well, I don't know. I feel like the
There's
2000s had a lot of original shit too.
Yes.
But I'm leaving it up to you guys.
And
You
then
guys
also
have to
could-
make
I mean,
your decision.
you've
I'll
left
make the
out
third one.
the rise of A24, which has had just some really fantastic.
They're
like-
hit or miss though. They are
But-
hit or miss. Some
which is true. I agree with you
when
on that.
they hit
But
gold, they hit gold.
But yeah,
But
they've
when they
also had some really great horror movies that have come out where you're like, damn, like you hit me on all the levels. I'm scared, I'm grossed out, and like my mind is like kind of altered by the experience. So like that's something. Ocean. We have not
one
let
of
you
them
have
on
any.
there.
Okay, sorry.
How many did I have on? I'm looking at not like I went to the list. I was like, which A24 movies did I include without even thinking they were A24? And so far, I only got one. Because they don't really have that many that I really fucked with. There was that I didn't count this other one. I don't think that's horror. The Green Room, that was more like a drama.
And that's just the
Fucking
other thing I was
crazy
going to
movie.
ask you. Like, what exactly are you counting as horror? And you already defined it in the movies that you've put in there, which is all the horror elements, even if they're action based, or even if they have like. But would you go so far as saying like E.T. is a horror movie?
No,
It's about an alien invasion. Yeah.
That's a sci-fi movie for sure, not a horror
Right.
movie.
Okay,
horror. The best way to describe it is like just because it has gore in it doesn't mean it's that would be like saying every action movie is a horror movie.
Exactly right.
I mean, technically you're right, but I don't consider that to be a
Rambo
horror
is about
movie.
the horrors of war, and you're like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a horror movie, but
I
that's
get where
not
you're
quite.
coming from,
Yeah.
or like just like say you get a home invasion movie.
Yeah.
That's like
Ooh,
dudes kicking ass.
ooh,
That's not a horror movie. That's an action movie. It's a thriller. It's more like whoa, like you don't really expect bad things, anything crazy to happen. Like it's a horror movie is like when it's a home invasion movie and they're hiding in the house the whole movie trying to get away from robbers because they think they're gonna get their fucking throat slit. Like
okay, wait, hang on. But then how do
the
you?
Nobody movie. Like Nobody is not a horror movie, but he's getting
right. Yeah, no,
like his
right.
house invaded.
Well, how do you define the movie? I think it's House, where the plot they believe the whole time that it's like they're haunted, the house is haunted, but then it turns out that there's a man living in their walls.
Oh, The Boy.
The what?
Oh, The Boy.
That there must have been. I don't think I've ever seen that movie, but there must be a trope that's very similar that's the case. Or maybe I'm thinking of.
There's one in the 90s that was called The People Under the Stairs, but that was different.
That's a different type movie. But like, so like that's the premise, right? Like they think it's a ghost
serial
movie.
Killer living in the walls. That was The Boy. There's like a serial killer living in the walls, and she thought she was being haunted by this fucking doll, but it really was this dude in the walls, like traveling through the house.
That's awesome. I've never seen that movie. That's so cool. I will definitely have to check it out.
Has the bitch from Walking Dead in it. The bad bitch that dated Glenn. She's the main bitch in that movie. She's the main lady that's like freaking out.
Now, Ocean, we've had this discussion about decades and horror movies before we got into the question. Do you have any clarifications that you would like to bring up before we start to settle on our favorite decade?
Not clarifications. I have. It's the same thing where it's like I have all my own reasons to put them in different categories. I watched. I think I was like 4 years old, 5 years old when my dad showed me the first Alien, like the first Ridley Scott Alien movie.
Let me just say this real quick. Sci-fi doesn't mean it's not horror, because like Alien, Predator, those are horror movies.
Obviously, it's interesting that you say that, because I would say that the early ones. Alien is a horror movie, but Predator is an action movie, and it's only later that it becomes a horror movie because of the way they start hunting. And that's just my opinion. I just think of it like more as like a more Rambo than it is, say, Chucky. But just that's 2 cents in there.
I completely agree, but it's still in my mind a horror movie. Like Till Dusk Till Dawn is the same. It's an action movie,
right? That's very right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can
brought the 90s back up. That's what I'm talking about. You can have
action horror. Like there's subgenres, but you just can't take it so far, to where it's, once it's slapstick, it's not horror, Like I love the scary movies, but those are comedies.
Right.
They're not horror. Then I saw it listed on a lot of lists, and maybe we can talk about it, but because it is iconic. I love those movies, but it's not horror.
It's interesting, right?
It's an inspiration of horror. It takes a lot from all the movies. They do it great, accurate. They mock and parodied it great.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's my question for you.
You're not there to fucking get scared.
Do you consider Scream horror movies?
That's a tough one.
Right, because it's written with by the exact same people with the exact same intention, but they're not like tipping their hand.
I feel like it was a great satire that mixed horror very well.
Okay, so
because it's been done before
Yeah.
and after, and it's not hit the same whatsoever. Scream did it the best blend. It's because it's Wes Craven. Wes Craven knew what the fuck he was doing.
Right.
Like the I Know What You Did Last Summer movies didn't come to pass. They just now got a reboot, but that's 20 years later after a couple of movies. Scream has been consistent since the late 90s. That's insane. They fucking nailed it. But it is horror, but it's just, I don't know. It's like a satire on horror. It's kind of like it's like the last Freddy Krueger movie. New Nightmare. It was like a
Right.
satire
It's a satire,
look
yeah.
on the fucking Freddy franchise, but it was still horror for sure. So it just depends on how much horror is in the movie. Like if there's menacing scenes and not too much jokey shit going on, because you could say like the killer clowns from outer space. That is a fucking comedy, and if you have a dark sense of humor,
Right,
but
right.
so it's all subjective as fuck, and you guys get to like decide at the end of the day. Like it's all subjective at the crossroads. You're like, well, I think the killer clowns. I'm scared of, like deathly like Debbie watching it. Some people are deathly afraid of clowns. I am not. They are truly afraid of it, and I can't like I'm not like it's a whatever. I mean, it looks creepy. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's no different from a goddamn ghost. Like it ain't really hitting my core. Like some people get really fucking scared by that. So everyone has a different idea of what horror really is. I could laugh. I laugh. My mom is super scared of The Exorcist because she watched it when she was like 6.
I gotcha.
But every time I watch it with her, I laugh because when that motherfucker's like your mother sucks cocks in hell, I fucking die rolling every time because it's funny.
Dude. Yeah, it's a funny movie.
So everything's just your own. Everyone has a different take, man. That's why we're doing this. Everyone has different ideas on everything.
Ocean, I'm going to put you on the spot, buddy.
Yeah.
What's your decade?
Sinner. I loved Sinners. I didn't get to see it in theaters, but I watched it since it just got on HBO Max. And it definitely like is a horror movie. It never made me scared, but I was just realizing that there's a difference in like horror and terror, for things being scary and things being terrifying. It's like, yeah, like nothing was scaring me as an audience member. But Sinners set up a ton of very vulnerable characters that I didn't want to watch die. And spoilers, but like, yeah, like a lot of them do. A lot of them have rough, throat-biting deaths. And I wasn't scared, but I was definitely like affected. And I was like, I don't want to sit here and watch these people they just made me like get murdered by vampires. Or like M. Night Shyamalan doesn't really do stuff that's all that visceral. But I watch Signs. Like I grew up surrounded by cornfields. So when Signs came out, I was like, oh, this is for real. Like, they're coming for me.
So terrifying.
Yeah, and it was like when I was a kid, Twisters. The movie Twisters scared the shit out of me because we didn't have anywhere to hide from tornadoes. Not scary now at all now, but horrified me as a child. Like I actually know we don't have anywhere to go if it's big crazy. And I was just watching people have fun and then leave after an hour and a half. But I was like, I'm still here though. I'm still like 8 and we have to hide in a ditch if there's a tornado.
Right.
So,
oh
like,
my God.
Like, yeah, like the breadth of what makes it scary or not is, yeah, it's huge.
It can even be just how you grew up, what you grew up watching, or what you grew up around, like environmental. Yeah. It's your environment makes your horror, not the horror that makes your,
Okay, so Curtis, are you counting in disaster movies as horror movies? Twister is a great example. Sharknado would be another stretch of that example.
I would say so, but like like a lot of disaster movies are dramas. Like I wouldn't count Armageddon.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
But San Andreas is kind of like a horror movie that has more horror elements than Armageddon. Armageddon's more of a drama, sci-fi, just sad movie. San Andreas, fucking buildings are coming down around people and they're running. And like 2012 could be like a horror movie because some crazy shit, but that could just be like a thriller. I don't know what disaster movies would fall in line with that, but go ahead. Yeah. There aren't a lot of them. That's the thing. I really don't care if you put them in because I don't really know too many disaster movies that could make the cut.
No.
Like
really.
You got a good handful of some greats, but like they don't. There's not that many. There should be more. We should have more disaster movies. Like you have Final Destination, which is a disaster movie that is a horror. So
it is a horror movie. Yeah, that's interesting. It's a series of small disasters. That's funny how you classify that as a disaster movie. I mean, you're correct. That's
you could say it's paranormal too, but
whatever you want to say. Because death is chasing them.
Yeah, there's like The Day After Tomorrow. that one where I think like the world is slowly freezing over. It's sort of down to the movie's tone. So like 30 Days of Night is a vampire movie where like vampires attack a town in Alaska where the sun doesn't shine for 30 days.
Oh, right. It's based on a
Like
comic
for
book.
Okay, I
Yeah.
want to talk about one more movie, and then we're gonna pick our fucking decades.
Yeah,
And I just
okay,
want to
cool,
talk
cool.
about this movie
You're
because
good.
this is like this is a very new franchise that's just gotten under my skin, and it's just become a cult classic over the years. Terrifier. How do you guys feel about Terrifier? I just watched the first couple things, and then my girlfriend was a big fan. She showed me the second. We went to the theater to see the third. We got a fucking box set, collector's fucking shit for it, and it was awesome. But it's very controversial. Some people like it, some people don't. What do you guys think about it? Because I feel like it's a really just authentic throwback to back in the day. Just holds no bars, horror, slasher type shit.
That's awesome. Ocean, have you seen it?
I saw the first one. I know people like them, and it's like if people like them, just keep on going, keep on liking them. Not really. I don't. I sort of have a thing where, like, I actually do kind of like the A24 movies. I kind of prefer like Hereditary and Midsummer. I think are two of my favorite horror movies. Are
Okay.
genuinely just are two of my horror movies because they're very character heavy. I think
Yeah.
Well,
Terrifier.
let me say this. Let me say this because if you only seen the first one, I completely get what you're saying because they had no budget. But by the time they got to the third one, they got an actual budget. They got like a
Ooh,
really good
okay.
budget. So now the cinematography is top notch. It's an A24 level cinematography. Like I appreciate the first one, especially when he cut that bitch from cunt to head. That was fucking crazy. But you could tell it was low budget and it was cheesy. But as they've just gone on, they're just getting better and better, and it's becoming just like the only slasher right now. Like I can't what else other slashers is there that's like they're not remaking anybody. They're not doing anything new. So it's like he's the only one.
Like a weird Halloween sequel. Because whatever the
To a
next
So
one
degree.
is,
let me just say that
like
I have not seen Terrifier, and I am going to watch it and get
Start
back
with
to
the
you.
start with the third one. Skip the first two because it might
Wait,
throw you off
is it
because
fair
they
to the
are cheesy.
franchise? Is it? But it, no. Oh, come on. But that's the best part of some horror movies. Yeah, yeah. I have listed on my favorite movies a movie called Killer Sofa from 2019, where a dude is dressed
Oh
as
no.
a sleeper recliner lounge and is terrorizing people. That's one of my favorite movies. So,
I got one better than that.
okay.
You ever watched the movie called Rubber?
Yeah, that's actually another one on my list. That's why I can't decide between the early 2000s or the 80s because I love the 80s for being classic, but Rubber exists in 2008. And that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about where, okay, if you guys don't know what the movie Rubber is, it's a tire that's like is terrorizing this town and it uses psychic powers to destroy their minds. Um, and everyone's
And
afraid
it's
of it.
super
And there's this,
college. It's like a college kid made it. It was fucking.
it's
I don't even know
fourth
how they
wall
did it.
breaking.
Stop motion somehow. Like they fucking pushed the fucking
They
tire and
roll the
then
fucking tire.
play fucking direct. Go go. Fucking
Yeah,
rolling.
exactly.
Like I don't even know how they did it.
But here's the thing.
That
Well, no,
shit was
so
awesome.
there's a motor inside there. There's a gyro inside of
Yeah,
it that
maybe.
runs it. Because in the
There you
end of the
go.
movie, he meets up with his new teammate for whatever the sequel is supposed to be, which is a tricycle, and the two of them like go down the street together, causing mayhem and starting fires and stuff. So um, that's why I can't, actually, I'm going to camp pretty heavily in that because one of my favorite things about horror movies right now, and I'm looking at the rest of my list too, like what I love about the Child's Play franchise is what happens in the early 2000s with Chucky's Seed. So I'm going to plant my flag there. I'm thinking like right after, like when, a lot of college kids have been studying movies for a while and they start making movies that are like basically like tropes all spun together and playing with what they are. But it doesn't get so cerebral as like A24. That's what my decade's going to be.
Okay, so what was your decade?
So it's like the early 2004 to like, I know it's not like a steady decade to like, but like probably like 2015, 14, something like that. That's where like I say
So
my
you want to so you want to take the 2000s in one fell swoop?
well, it's more okay, no, I mean it's more like I
You
it's
got to take it all. You got to take
okay.
it all. You got to take 2000s and the
But
2010s then.
I don't really want the back end of the 2010s is the thing. Like I want like maybe like 2000, 12, like something like that. I take it like 2002 to 2012. I say that's probably my favorite movies.
Well,
Then I'll just take 2000. Yeah,
everything
2000, 2010.
everything I'll talk about, I'm sure you'll like. These are all
Yeah,
great hits.
sweet.
What's your pick, my guy? What's your decade of choice?
Ocean.
I feel like I do kind of want the 2010s. I
Oh,
think those
okay.
are like the best.
You can
Like
have
one of
them.
the best
I don't
ones.
really need them. I
My
just went to
yeah,
pick a couple
but like
movies.
because I also made a list, and I do have a lot from the 80s. I do kind of think the 80s, because other than like the big ones, I love Gremlins. I love both of the
Oh,
Gremlins movies
fucking forgot about
a
Gremlins.
ton.
Yeah, because it's not really a horror movie. It has horror elements like the little monsters, but it's like it's a Christmas movie. And
It is
then the
totally
Shameless Money Grab, I think, is the second movie, right?
absolutely terrified me as a child.
Motherfuckers.
The first one ends with a line that's like, "If there's ever a light flickering in your house, or something goes haywire, or this seems broken, it might be a gremlin." And I was just like, "Oh, cool! Everything is horrible. Anything after midnight could be a fucking gremlin." Like that, yeah, genuinely, absolutely terrified me for a long, long time. And I love that movie now as an adult.
Just
Like,
But
Gremlins and the idea of Gremlins in general.
yeah. Oh my God. Just that literally anything that could be messed up in your house is an actual Chinese demon. And you just got to deal with that kid. Like,
I mean,
or,
I would have to say
so
that
you're
too.
thinking you gotta be concrete. Where you want to go?
I think he said
I'm
2010 to
giving him
2020.
2000s.
Yeah, I'll take
I'll
the
give him
2000.
So you Ocean is the 2010s.
Yeah, 10s to
I think I
20s.
want,
What's
I think
your
I want the
plan?
God damn,
1980s.
you want the 80s? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going for the
All right.
80s. Cool, cool. All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
that was my second choice for
I'll
sure.
I'll take the 90s.
Okay.
We can talk about some of the 90s.
Nice.
So we'll get the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s.
That's a fun little span of movies for sure.
We'll get through it. Well, for me personally, we can go through our favorite 80s movies. These are my favorite out of all time. There's a lot. There's a long ass list.
Do
If I
it.
had to pick, I gotta put The Thing in there. The Thing is the shit.
Yeah.
Oh, the thing. Okay, yeah, well, yeah.
The
Yeah,
Thing's there.
the plot,
The
cinematography,
Fly.
the acting.
The Fly is in there.
Yeah.
The Shining. The Shining's in there.
Yep.
The Return of the Living Dead. That's a classic.
Yeah. Not a zombie fan. Zombies are such a silly monster to me. I don't get them.
I grew up with that movie. That is such a classic to me.
I know,
because it's
and
a
so
blend
many people
of comedy and horror.
Okay, yeah, okay, right. The hijinks that have to ensue so zombies can eat people.
He's like, dude, when they're at the table and they're like, what's wrong? They're like, it makes the pain go away. Fucking funny, man. Also, Christine and The Blob. Those are two 80s classic. I know you just said The Blob. That was on my list.
And The Blob, yeah.
Evil Dead. You have Evil Dead is fucking. You have the first and the second.
Forgot that was in the 80s.
80s.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think actually, Ocean, you're owning the 80s. You've got so many fucking great movies. All right.
You got Hellraiser 1 and 2.
Oh yeah. Also, the original Clive Barker, and not the weird spinoffs, except for the reboot that came later. I think I get the reboot.
You got Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, man,
I'm tallying these up.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. Name any of them.
All of them that are happening there. Like it's a fun franchise if you want to binge for a weekend.
You got the Reanimator.
Wait, hang on. Are you giving him points for all the movies that came out in the 80s or just the one title?
Just the Just the ones I listed.
Okay. They're like jam packed in this. I think they come like back to back every year for like 5 years or
Can't
6 years.
wait till you get to the 2000s, bro. The 2000s have a lot too.
I forgot. Yeah, I mean, it has Saw,
mine's
right?
the tough one. I didn't have that many for the 90s. You guys have a
why did you pick the
shitload.
90s? Because that is stacked.
But yeah, Reanimator
Oh yeah.
and They Live. Those are two classics from the 80s. And we'll talk a little bit on all of it, dude. Videodrome. Videodrome is fucking.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that one. That's fucking trippy. Predator. Arnold. Fucking, that's classic.
Yeah, again, I think that's
Creep.
the action era, but I definitely, yeah, for sure. That's a solid 80s movie.
The Lost Boys. Not my favorite vampire movie, but it's iconic.
But also iconic, yeah, right?
That's good.
I mean,
my favorite for a vampire movie, Fright Night. That's fucking dope.
That's a fun movie.
And you got Creep Show. Creep Show is fucking dope. And that's all in the 80s. You had one, let me count these. 1, 2, 17 movies. And I didn't even put some of them on. Because I was like, they're not the fucking like big ones. But the 80s are fucking crowded, bro.
Yeah,
there are so many great movies through the 80s.
Seriously. I mean, a lot of horror that exists now has its roots in the 80s.
But I mean, you have, I don't even know which one was like the one that you guys you knew from word. Because like Evil Dead, Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, which one do you guys want to talk about first?
Did you leave Child's Play out?
I did actually. Child's Play is also in the fucking 80s.
I was just wondering if you're like, nah, this one doesn't.
There were some I left out. There's so many. Like you have Puppet Master and Children of the Corn. I was like, let's just
all the trauma movies,
those guys.
And, yeah, the red, whatever the moon dog is. Yeah.
Hey, what about Leprechaun?
18 movies?
Oh yeah, and the Leprechaun series.
Yeah, when did those come out?
Isn't the Leprechaun?
Oh yeah, that was 90s.
Okay, Jennifer Aniston, is in the first one, so it has to be.
Yep, I got that one.
I
got that fucked up movie.
So I mean, I would like to talk about Hellraiser because it's just an awesome. I mean, like you have to give Hellraiser. This is what I was saying about the roots in the 80s, because what it does is it leads to like Human Centipede and to like the Saw franchise. Because like this idea of like torture and horror movies. And they've stayed pretty strong as far as like putting out a new movie every 5 to 7 years to keep their fans happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Hellraiser is another level though. Like when they get the chains going and rips your fucking face apart. That was pretty. Like I remember as a kid, I watched Hellraiser 2, and there's that scene where the bitch comes out of the bed because she like grows back or some shit because her blood is on the bed. And I remember I was a kid, I was like 6 years old, and I'm watching the movie and I see her come out, and my dad told like he always reminds me, like, when you seen that bitch come out the bed, you were just like fucking wide-eyed, mouth open, and I'm like, that shit was fucking, it's weird, bro. It's fucking weird.
And that's where like that's what I'm saying, like the reason I enjoy Hellraiser movies is because you're going to see stuff that you're not going to see anywhere else. It kind of like level of like maybe Cannibal Holocaust, where you're like, wow, I'm glad that this is a movie and I'm not seeing this in real life. Because like you were saying, like the spooks and the goblins, like those guys are interesting and they're fun to laugh at. But like the stuff where like you could be dismembered in these ways is the stuff that really like gets me. So
it's definitely like a story that's from creator that's like made their own subgenre. So like a Clive Barker movie is like totally
very unique.
Or like The Fly. Like, David Cronenberg is his own subgenre, and like
that's fair.
Is his own subgenre. Like it's like a creative mind that's like
they got like their own image in their head, and they want to like put it out there. Like whatever they got in that fucking head, like
Right, yeah,
The
exactly.
Fly is insane. That is such a crazy movie to even make, and I can't believe Jeff Goldblum did it, but he did, and he nailed it. But it's dude fucking degenerates into a fly,
Exactly.
losing all his teeth and shit. Like that is a gnarly movie.
Yeah, like it marries a character arc with a physical horror arc of like, oh, a man, like a slow Jekyll and Hyde turn, and you get to watch this guy disintegrate and not be able to turn back. Like, oh, it's
You're
awesome. Like, it's a really
Yeah,
dope.
you're hitting on exactly the stuff that creeps me out, and that's why I really love those movies.
But
Is because it's horror. I think you were saying that with the difference between horror and terror. Like there's something. This is something else altogether. I'm not quite sure what it is. If you guys have an idea of what that word is, where it's like that uncomfortable. Like the same reason people are drawn to true crime is because they're afraid of those things could happen to them, like that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
well, yeah, like realistic horror, like something that you can see happening to yourself. Like a lot of movies go through that, and it's
The whole
like you get a
Turistas
stranger
franchise.
call you, you're just
Right.
home alone, and like the Stranger Calls movie. That's all based off of someone calling you in the middle of the night, and this is back when people just had landlines, and someone's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you," and now you're like, "Oh damn." Like okay, like not, you're in your like it just it's like The Strangers, bro. The movie The Strangers, like when you're just confined to a space, it builds anxiety and suspense, and that's the whole horror part of it. Like in reality, like when you watch a suspenseful movie, especially if you have a black crowd, like I've went to some like black theaters where it was like malls with a lot of black people.
Sure.
These motherfuckers can't stand a suspenseful movie because they already know, like they know how to get out of the situation. Like when you go in somewhere and something looks sketchy, leave. You stay. Why are you staying? Why are you fucking? You already dead. Already dead. And then like I get it, but like that's not what horror movies are. Horror movies are like cliche dumb fucks that go through scenarios to get you pumped up and get you riled up like that because we know what the fuck you should probably do. And then you go and do the opposite, get us pissed. Like it's just horror is it's nice how they do that. They're little dicks. I'll give them that.
It's intentional. Like, and that's what we love, right? Like we want to fall in love with these characters a little bit, and then let them
get emotional. Get kind of fucking like, oh my, or yeah, like you see a dickhead, like that shows that you're really good actors, and I'm happy to see you die. Like when you died, I was like, I wanted you to die. I am so happy you fucking died first, you douche. Like you were a really good actor. You made me hate you for 20 minutes. Like that's pretty good.
So
have you guys ever seen the movie Fright Night?
Yeah, it's like these guys trying to break into a haunted house. Is that the one?
I don't think that it sounds something like that. It ain't that, but it's vampires.
Okay.
Like dude he finds out that his neighbor is a vampire and he's trying to kill the vampire. And it's an old 80s classic, like 86, 87. That movie is one of the best vampire movies ever because it's very if you haven't seen it, you got to see it because it's like a blend of 80s and the 1950s old like vampire-esque like Dracula movies mixed in with the new form familiar. 80s.
I bet you I've seen it when I was like super blazed, and as soon as I watch it again, I'll be like, oh yeah.
So dude, the special effects are just super cool and gnarly, like the way dude's nails come out and just the transformations, and it's really trippy. It's one of my favorite horror movies of the 80s for sure. Like that's probably one of the best vampire movies because it's simple. Think about it. If you were a teenager and the movie starts off with him looking through, he's like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I think he's just like studying or some shit, falls asleep, wakes up, and he can see into the house next over, and the window's open. Dude's getting some ass. Dude, that's like the main vampire.
It's an 80s movie. We need this to happen. to sell this
fucking
movie.
titties right off rip.
You need
Fucking
it.
awesome
You
little
need it.
titties. And then he just fucking bites the bitch. Dude knows that he's a vampire. He's trying to tell everybody. No one believes him. His mom invites him in because he's the fucking new neighbor. And it's just like this snowball effect. He's like, I gotta kill this fucker, dude. He's getting close. He goes into his house and threatens him to be like, just stop fucking with me. And I mean, like, I would stop fucking with the vampire if the vampire came to my bedroom.
Right.
But he recruits a couple friends and shit to try and kill him, and it's a very serious movie. It's not cheesy or anything. It's not gimmicky. It's very like there's jokes and shit, but it's very like we are gonna die. We're about to go into a vampire's nest and try and kill him. So that's always been a fan favorite of mine.
Realistic horror. So we've reached the top of the hour, the first hour of this podcast. So awesome! This has been fun. You're listening to Cox in Space podcast, and this is Flicking with Skip. Tonight we're working on the animation too. We just got the pecker flying through space. I don't know if you guys saw that. I just closed that down while we were talking. So some opening sequence movement, but. And we're talking here with Ocean Alvarado and our good friend Curtis Wolff. So just making things happen. Yeah, fun times. We're talking about horror. If you guys want to join the crew, you can go to coxinspace.com. It's coxinspace.com, and there you can get in touch with our Patreon and our Discord, and also in touch with our Facebook. We have the Discord shows up 7 nights a week, and you can join us live there. One of the cool things about that is you get to catch us in the green room, and also post show are not on the podcast because we don't record those. You get to catch the show live, and then this month we're going to be voting on our favorite episode that comes out in August. So you can do that if you get on the Discord. You can also get in touch with our Patreon, and that gives you access to hidden and early episodes where you get to hear the swearing that Curtis does that I have to cut out for YouTube, but you get access to those and early access to those. You get to become part owner of the Cox in Space as a franchise, which means you get to earn a percentage of the show when it pays out. So you can do that by going to coxinspace.com, clicking on our join the team, join the crew, and get connected with our Patreon. We're going to get back to our show with the topic of horror because we need to tally up Ocean's score because it's been killing me. Like, how many movies does he have?
He had
in the 80s.
20. He had 20. Off the list, I have 20.
Okay.
If I put in Child's Play. And it's just, he's won. We talk forever if we were just on the 80s. We have to move on.
I mean,
we have to go to the 90s.
You have to be like, you have to talk about the 80s if you're going to talk about horror. I mean, that's just when, like,
There's
cameras became available.
We could do
and the
a
first
whole
movie
fucking
people
thing
want
on
to
the 80s. There are so many movies.
Actually, guys, comment below if you want to hear us do a whole episode on the 80s, because we could talk seriously. I love the 80s horror so much. That's why it was going to be my favorite. But then if I'm stuck with a genre, I definitely want it to be, more fun.
Oh yeah, I wanted a variety for this show just because it's a horror general conversation. But I picked the 90s. I have a couple things I want to talk about that maybe people don't know because I guess we're old that we know movies from the 90s. I hate being called old for knowing a movie that's 30 years old. But
weird. Okay.
But these are fucking awesome. The first one I want to talk about is The Cube. If anybody's seen the Cube movie,
oh yeah, no,
what do you guys think about it?
Oh my god, the whole trilogy is amazing. Like every movie gets better. Like once it starts opening up into seeing what the project is about, I think is where it really. You see why. Also, fantastic pulling off the project inside a cube. I mean, what a brilliant filming strategy. All we have to do is have this one set.
I don't even know how you did it.
Oh my god!
I don't know how they.
That
set had been a giant square.
Yeah, that's it. And they just take off one wall and film from that side. Like it's a brilliant setup for it. Ocean, I jumped in. Do you have thoughts on the Cube?
No, I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I know.
No,
I might be least familiar with 90s horror.
Basically, there are a bunch of people wake up. It's basically Squid Games, but involuntary. Because
that's a good summation.
You get put you're in a cube and you move from cube to cube, but you don't know what's going to be in the next cube. It could be okay and normal, or you could go into like razor spikes and fucking giant machetes coming at your face, or like a fire room. You know, it was a cool little franchise in the '90s and 2000s.
Yeah,
First one was the best, though. I love the first one.
I
That's
would
the
give you,
classic.
it definitely has the most flavor to it. The second one is just a rehash, but it has better special effects. And then the third one, I think, is where it really, because it starts from you see the operators who are running the cube. And that's what I think where that's like a really fun movie. They should have done it in the beginning, like in the
it's
first.
Very like it's cool though when you don't know what the fuck's going on. It adds to it because you just have no idea what is happening. Once you figure it out, then it loses a little of the value of that surprise. Which
I think
I'll
you're
talk
right.
about that again with your 2000 shit, because there's a movie that's just like that. Well,
here's the thing.
Lose it.
I want to ask you though,
when you figure out what it is.
So is Cube a horror movie or is it a thriller? Because
that's totally a horror movie. People are getting fucked up in that bitch.
Sure.
Gruesomely.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but like, remember, like, gore is not necessarily an indicator of a horror movie, because like action movies have that. But like, what is it in your mind? Because I'm kind of on the fence here, so I just want to hear what your thoughts are.
They're distressed. Okay. They're trying to. It is a horror. They're in horror because like they open this fucking cube. The guy goes in and gets sliced to fucking teriyaki chips. Like that. You're gonna be scared. It's a scary, and it's rated R. There's gore. But it is. I mean.
Okay, I see where you're going.
I would consider that a horror.
You're saying it's horror in the same way that the Saw franchise is horror. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, then I'm with you.
That's a good comparison.
Okay, yeah, because it's the torture that they're being put under, and who's doing it to them, right? So okay, cool, I'm with you. And then it turns out it's a mathematical equation that's doing it to them or something. That's right. It does jump the shark. Ocean, you were going to say something. I jumped in.
Are they like prisoners in the cube?
So they're abducted and they wake up there and that they just have to figure out why is what's happening. And they're all from different places. And they find out that in some of the movies, they find out that they do have a connection, but I think it's tenuous at best.
I think it's just a mind fuck movie.
That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be a mind fuck. Just the same way it's like Triangle is a mind fuck. Not a horror movie, but is Triangle a horror movie?
Yeah, I'd consider
because the villain is hunting them down to kill them.
Thriller.
Yeah, all right, okay, and they're trapped on a ship. Okay, yeah, no, because it has all those elements that they almost got trapped at sea. Yeah, no, I would classify it in the category that we have as a horror. Sorry, that's okay. Cube, fantastic, love that movie. What else you got on the list?
What about American Psycho? How do you feel about American Psycho?
See, I was going to ask you the same thing, but I landed on that it's a horror movie, but it's more along the lines of horror comedy.
I would say horror satire.
Yeah, okay,
satire
fair.
Doesn't
comedy
always mean comedy.
Yeah,
you can just laugh at it if you have a dark sense of humor.
Okay, so you're saying
I would definitely say that's
horror
for sure.
Yeah, I would give you that.
Chainsaw and dead bodies.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It is dark. It's a dark movie. It's not it's not lighthearted.
See, and that's where I was like, I think it's a dark comedy, but at the same time, it's a dark comedy with horror elements. Ocean, do you have thoughts on American Psycho, the 1990s classic about an 80s dude?
I love American Psycho. I would kind of put it in the same. I was just talking to my girlfriend about it. I would probably put it in the same category as like Silence of the Lambs, where maybe it's not out and out a horror movie. It's definitely it definitely has enough visceral gruesomeness that like not everybody's gonna rewatch it. Like I've rewatched Silence of the Lambs a lot, but like that's not just like a daytime cable movie. It's gross.
See, for me, when growing up watching it, I really related with the main character.
Damon.
Until he started chopping people up.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly. I'm a mask. You can touch my hand, but you don't know who I am. Yeah, I'm just not there.
But then you just like get to the end, and he's just going on a rampage, shooting people, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm like, you're going. It's so off the rails movie where it's just meant to be ridiculous. Like what a serial killer would be like if he was the dumb fuck and just unstable. Yeah.
So let me ask you
And
this as a
rich
person
at the
who
same
is,
time.
who's seen the movie a bunch of times. And you said you love American Psycho also, Ocean. So let's discuss. So I've heard the theory that the end of American Psycho is not real. That the whole thing is Patrick Bateman just like puffing himself up and like telling himself that he's a serial killer. But like there's lots of evidence throughout the movie, according to the people who say this, that it's all fantasy. What do you think along those lines? Both either one of you guys, Ocean as our guest. What do you think?
I think it might be worth reading the book.
I have read the book. Yeah. You haven't read the book?
No. How does the book end?
So in the book, from my point of view, like, and people have disagreed with me about the book as well, but like in the book, it seems like he's definitely done it and he's gotten away with it because he's a rich fuck with a lot of time on his hands and nobody wants to make like a stir. So he just keeps getting away with it. And that's sort of the thing about the American Psycho is that if you have enough money, you win the game. And that's Patrick Bateman. And that means you can do anything.
But is that, to me, I feel like it would be like if you said the American Psycho, that can be interpreted so many ways because you could say it's the guy that's just on edge, about to lose it. He's one last straw away from doing something, but he has these fantasies but you never do them. Like everybody's a little psycho. Like you had a bad day at work and you're like, I could just like the steering wheel. Like if I just put it this way, I kill everybody over there. But you never do it. You just there's like little dark fantasies people have, and that's the American Psycho. That's the deep rooted fucking darkness in a lot of people's heads, especially when you're just agitated and irritated every day. I don't know. I don't know if that theory holds true.
So
I would think it is
it's
a much bigger plot twist, and I think I've always thought of it kind of to be like that because the ending was confusing. I never really felt like he thought he got caught. So like if he was wrong, I don't know.
Yeah, well, his lawyer's like, he doesn't even worry on it. He doesn't even know who he is. So
exactly. Yeah. So it's very confusing of an ending to where the first time you watch it, you're like, what the fuck just happened? You're like, whenever you have those type of moments, fucking, it could be anything until the director comes out and it's like, no, this is exactly what I meant.
Okay.
Like The Sopranos. The Sopranos had the same thing. For a decade, people were arguing about the ending, and the director came out and was like, no, he died. It was like, oh. All those people, those hardcore fans on Reddit for a decade straight giving concrete evidence as to why this and this and this is like this, and I'm just squashed with a director like, nope, I meant it to be like that. I just never told you guys.
Right. And that's his prerogative to do that too, because he owes the fans nothing just because they love his show. Like he intentionally left it vague so you could have that question and continue to think
vague. Yeah, get the vague option in your head. Yeah. That's always the fun of it too, just to think about that.
Yeah. Sorry, Ocean.
Sopranos, oh, you're good. You're good. I'd love The Sopranos. I think because the finale starts with the villain of the final season getting shot in the head, and his car is in neutral, and his wife is right there, and the car rolls over his corpse's head. So I think if they didn't cut and like that's how it starts. And like most Sopranos episodes bookend with something. So I can only imagine if it didn't cut to black, it would be Tony and his wife and his son getting gunned down in the middle of a diner. And it would be the darkest thing that would ever be on TV. I just think like whatever.
Well, that's HBO, bro. That's HBO, and that's what people wanted.
You know what?
That's what
There's something about killing off someone's favorite character, though.
You know how many people thought that their fucking HBO broadcast just cut out because it goes just to black. Like it has that fucking Journey song going, and then cut to black, just black. You know how many people thought their TV went out? So many people thought and I'm like, people didn't want that. I don't feel like, but it left a vague thing in the air for future fans and stuff. But it would have been a concrete end, but he didn't want to do that, so It is what it is.
People are definitely going to hate you for showing that shot, because you've come to empathize. Like, this is the guy, like he's
that's what the emotion comes from. Now we just have to picture in our head how it would happen. But if you showed it in a really good way,
that's fair. You don't get closure.
The emotional value. Imagine if they didn't kill the family, just killed Tony and left, and they're all crying and shit. That's a whole extra scene.
Oh,
they could have,
Tony they could have milked it.
It could have been a spin-off.
Yeah. Or end it there. You don't know if he kills the guy or the guy kills him in the bathroom. Like, you could have had a bit, like, that ending is so controversial because it just ends with nothing you have no idea what happens. You can't even think. You have to think about, I guess that's the art of it. Because now we're thinking about it fucking 10 years later.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, leaving that job. Yeah, they did it. Hey, guys, I'm going to zoom out real quick because I want to point out something about what happened is that there were, the 80s had just a bunch of movies that came out. But it seems like the 90s has, like, more heavy hitters. Like, and maybe that's just we're about the same age, and so these movies are kind of more nostalgic for us. But, like, American Psycho is a pretty serious movie on its own. That while it has a sequel, it doesn't need a sequel at all, and the sequel is not even an American Psycho movie. It was just given the title of that. Anyway, yeah, Mila Kunis, fun times. Right? Like, why does it exist? It doesn't make sense. But I think that but American Psycho, I would hold up to, like,
has it on the 80s, but the 90s has some hits for sure.
This is what I'm going to say is, like, American Psycho would hold up in my mind against the entire Friday the 13th, like, franchise as far as, like, quality film. Because, like, I've watched American Psycho over and over and over again. Once I watch, like, a Friday the 13th movie, I'm like, okay, cool, that's a fun slasher ride, but I'm sure there's another one, so there's nothing, like, super distinct about
like
the
ones like this. The American Psycho has, like, cinematography and a really tight script, where Friday the 13th has a very simple script movie. And it has it's basically just a fucking it's a gore torture porn, it's something right. To take your girl to and movie. Get fucked up and watch some bitch get her head chopped off. Like, there are two different styles of horror, but there's fucking 13 Friday the 13th. There's one American Psycho, and
this is what I'm saying. So I know that's the case, but I'm saying, like, that's, in my opinion,
it's
like,
unique.
Like, the 13 movies measures up to the one American Psycho. So I think in like a weighted fashion, that the American Psycho is carrying the weight on one of those. What else you got on that 90s list?
I got Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys know that movie?
We got Tales of the Crypt.
Do you guys know that?
No, not Demon Knight.
It was a movie that was made through, because Tales of the Crypt was a TV show on Showtime or something, Showtime or HBO, and they made a movie. They made two movies. They made this one. They made another one that wasn't so good about vampires, but this one was Demon Knight. That movie's a fucking classic. There's a lot of big actors in it that was, like, some of their first roles. The comedy's in there, and the horror is fucking stellar because it's demons. Like, the demons come up from the ground, and they have a whole backstory of everything. Like they have a whole Jesus subplot where Jesus gave his blood to someone while he was on the cross to defend against the demons, and you can use the blood to, like, mark off areas and protect yourself till the sun comes up. And these people get trapped in a fucking diner, and they have to defend against demons. And that's
the Tales of the Crypt, like special effects, right? Like that, like, level of special effects.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty top notch shit, and it's funny. They have the one dude, I can never remember his name, but he's playing like says the whole thing is this demon guy is trying to catch the guy that has the Jesus blood, and he has fucking the stars got a line, and guy's like immortal. When you take the Jesus blood, he does this brand on you, and you're immortal until you fucking die or whatever. It's a big fucking subplot, all this shit.
Yeah.
But But then this dude's playing a sheriff, and it's the funniest shit because he's acting like he has to arrest this guy, that he's a criminal, and the guy's just trying to do Christ's work, right? And eventually the shit goes south, and they figure out dude is a demon. The bald dude, he's a bald sheriff dude. I forget his name. He's a big actor though, and I remember, and it's the funniest shit. You can put it up on YouTube. It is so funny. He's out on because they kick him out. They do the Jesus blood, and he's stuck outside, and he's in his little cowboy outfit, and he starts kicking shit. He's like, goddamn, get this goddamn shit, fucking, goddamn it. He's fucking, hold on. He's like making like cowboy fucking stereotypes. He's like, fuck this guy. He's taking all the cowboy shit off, and he starts like, he cuts his wrists, and he's like bleeding green, and he's like throwing it all over, and the demons start coming up beneath the fucking ground. It is a fucking hit, bro. If you've never seen it, that is a movie to get high to and just vibe, because that is wild. Dude that played Sandman and Spider-Man is in that bitch. I forget his name too, but he plays a funny ass dude. Bunch of stars.
It says that that's Billy Zane, I think, who the sheriff was.
Billy Zane.
If somebody wants to fact check, I just did a quick Google to look it up. That's awesome. The guy Billy Zane, of course, is in the Mummy movies as the and that's how I know him. He's also famous in other ways. Sweet.
Yeah, that's a hit, man.
Does got some movies.
What else? Let me see. Did you guys ever see The Faculty?
Yes. See, and this is what I'm talking about 90s movies. Like, that's why it was hard to pick, right? It's like a body snatchers-esque movie where the teachers have been taken over. Yeah.
The teachers are fucking with the kids. That is you got Elijah Wood before he was Frodo.
Oh, that's right.
You got a bunch of stars in that movie.
Josh Hartnett's in that movie.
Josh Hartnett. You got the dude from Terminator 2 that played the liquid Terminator. He's in it as the coach. Right. You got the bitch that played Jean Grey in the X-Men. She plays the hot teacher. I forget her name. She has a fucking weird name, a rough name. But yeah, there's a lot of stars in that movie, and it's just a cool concept for like body snatchers. Like the kids know and the parents don't, and you're just stuck with these fucked up teachers. That was a hit. That was a lot of fun. I gotta give it to you, man. The 2000s have the best movies so far to talk about. There's too many movies for you. You've won, to be quite honest.
The
I'm looking at it right now.
No, man. You said the 80s one, and I'm still thinking the 80s one. We do have like a half hour left of the show. Are you seating on the 90s? Because there are some fun movies in the 90s, but like as you pointed out, I'm like, yeah, there's a good. They have some heavy hitters for sure. But like, I mean, you have Scream in the 90s, which we've talked about. But then also we recognize that that's a satire of horror, and definitely it's mastered it, but still.
Yeah, I named like 5, and if I was generous, it could have got to like 8. There wasn't a lot in the 90s compared to the 80s, but the 2000s got so many.
Let's say 90s. I love Candyman. I love Candyman.
See that? Yeah, that's.
I wasn't that big. It wasn't a big fan for me for Candyman, to be honest. It was okay, you know.
That one's kind of like that one. Like the horror of it is super fake, but like Sabrina in like Chicago, like is a historically pretty violent place. That was it was kind of fucked over by a bunch of white cops for like years and years. Like Candyman's like a pretty intense like racial story, and I love I love the Blair Witch.
Okay, 90s Blair Witch Project. Okay, that's I mean, it existed, right?
Yeah, I'm not. I was never a fan of that either.
You have to give it to this though. Blair Witch Project spawned a whole like genre of found footage films.
Oh,
they exist because of Blair Witch, right? It's the same.
Which you have the better version. You have the better version of Blair Witch in your set. I'm looking at you right now.
You have like Paranormal Activity or something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean,
is a much better version of Blair Witch.
Yeah. And they, but also why? Because they took notes from all the things that they did and everything that people had said, and they're like, you know what, we can do that better.
Yeah.
And it opened.
And they did it. It ain't.
It opened with a lot of shit. Like it's supremely successful for no budget and like 4 people in the cast.
Yeah.
Like Saw, I would say Saw only happened because like the Blair Witch got made, and the Saw's a different genre, but that's another like micro budget.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Because obviously the first Saw has a very like same budget tier as the original Blair Witch does. Now, here's my big problem with the Blair Witch Project is that what you're seeing on screen is the director terrorizing his actors. So in some ways, I'm like, man, that's super exploitative. And then I'd be like, well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where they didn't really, they were just filming also. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on those.
So Blair Witch had the same filming technique that Kubrick used on The Shining.
Harass her until or you could say Hitchcock did with his actresses as well. He's going to abuse them until they give him what he wants. So yeah.
Kubrick made his staff sleep out in the woods, and he would put Blair Witch effigies around their tent in the middle of the night.
Yeah, exactly. And then have the cameras running as they're freaking out, and looking and being like, holy crap, did this become real? Is this guy actually trying to kill us?
Yes. The answer was yes.
I mean, so yeah, he may have been.
Do you know why I like the 2000s in particular? Is because
let's roll over to that.
The early 2000s are completely different from the late 2000s.
And that's where I was getting, I think that, it bleeds over into that next decade. Like, I think you see what's happening in the late, that's what I was trying to, claim the next, couple ones.
Like, every end goes into the beginning a little bit, and then they change as it goes type thing.
I mean, that's fair with all decades.
But with the 2000s, it's like it was nonstop. There was just never had a slowdown point. There's so many movies, even into the 2010s. It's like this just never quit. But
well, you have a lot of horror revival for sure,
as it's ever been. So it's obviously it's one of the biggest genres. It wasn't that way in the 70s and 80s. That's why we have Friday the 13th that's made off of $100,000 and filming in a random fucking park with little special effects and shit. Like, it wasn't a big thing. Now it is. And it's we're very spoiled is my point.
Yeah,
we're spoiled with horror now.
That is fair. We definitely have. That's how we can become connoisseurs of horror and not just take, what Wes Craven can give us every few months or, every couple of years. Sorry. If he's capable.
Well, like today, like Weapons came out with Josh Brolin. That came out like last night. Like I gotta see that. I thought that was gonna come out months ago. That looks so good.
Yeah, I'm thinking of seeing that Sunday. It looks pretty fucked up.
It looks really creepy. Yeah, I didn't know what it was like because it showed so many different characters. I guess it's like a different character every 15 minutes, and it winds back to when it happened. Like, I'm down for that.
That's
I know Pete Davidson has a really trippy one, a horror movie where he's in an asylum, and the trailer is just intense. I'm like, this is nutty. This is something. This kind of reminds me of Get Out, but with Pete Davidson in an asylum.
Yeah. Okay,
it's very trippy. That coming out.
Get Out is what, 2014 or something like that. So that's kind of out that decade. But yeah, no, we have really great horror that starts coming out.
Yeah. Well, and I just saw on Amazon, there's a War of the Words remake. Ice Cube.
Don't even watch that. Don't even watch it. It's bad. It's bad.
You see it. You're like, nah.
It's not even a found footage. It's War of the Worlds iPhone edition through Ice Cube looking at his fucking monitor. It is so awkward. I'm like, and they at one point Ice Cube's like, I'm coming to get you, I'm coming, and then he somehow gets locked in the government building, and so he's just at the computer the entire movie. I'm like, I can't watch. I watched 40 minutes of it, and I was like, this is not it. This isn't it. I was so disappointed because the War of the Worlds is such a good story, and they chose to do a fucking iPhone found footage. But it ain't even found footage because it's you barely get, the phones are shaking so much and going out of signal so often that it's not even a real found footage. It's just clips of it ain't.
No,
it's so annoying.
A movie of clips.
And I like Ice Cube. Ice Cube would have been cool to have in a War of the Worlds movie, but not like that.
Hey, so
Um,
Curtis, you've got my interest peaked, and we don't have to go into all of them, but give me the fast rundown without too much breaks of like what the 2000s held for us as far as horror movies, just so we have a clear picture of what that decade looked like.
Well, if I had to look at this real quick, Jeepers Creepers is on the list.
Okay,
ooh.
problematic because of the
Saw.
pedophile director, but you're right, it is a good horror movie.
Yeah. We gotta ignore that.
Well, I gotta call it out
made
just
a good
like
creeper movie.
Yeah,
You know why he did.
He's a creeper. Yeah, that's why he did. So okay.
Took inspiration, but amazing.
But
movies,
it's a horror
those
movie.
first two.
It is a good horror movie.
Saw is obviously on there. Final Destination.
Yeah, it's
is on there. Here's one maybe you don't know. Drag Me to Hell. The Sam
of
Raimi
course.
movie.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't realize that was so early. I thought it was in the later decade.
That was like 09. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was thinking it was like 11. Dude. Yeah.
And that's PG-13 too. That's not rated R. I give props to any movie that's PG-13 and awesome.
And still scary. Yeah.
Drag the hell.
Yeah, and it lives up to its title. Yeah, exactly. The whole time you're like, she's going to get away with it. Final frame, it lives up to its name. You're like, yes, you did it.
It was like Sam Raimi's take on Final Destination, like being cursed and you're going to die.
That was fun.
That was just legendary. Speaking of legendary, I Am Legend is on my list for the 2000s because that's fucking.
Is it a horror movie?
That's an awesome
I thought that's
movie.
an action movie. It is a good movie.
Well, it's zombies, so
yeah.
I mean,
okay. Oh, right. Okay, gotcha. Right. No, that's right. I think that's actually what my beef is with zombie movies. Is I actually classify them as action movies.
Hey, man. Any movie where a dog dies is a horror movie in my book.
So John Wick, of course, is obviously a horror franchise.
It's a horror movie, bro.
It's a horror movie. It's so terrifying. All right, fair.
1408 is also another one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, John Cusack.
Have you guys seen that?
John Cusack and what's the guy's name?
Sam Jackson.
Thank you. I could see the cover of the movie with a key on their face, but for some reason I couldn't tell his name. Sam Jackson.
That movie ruins an entire love song that we've only just begun. That fucking song is creepy now. Whenever I hear that in Walmart, I'm like, oh shit, something about to hit the fan. Oh no. But it's just they ruin some songs with these horror movies.
Did you count Vacancy in the 90s, or is that early 2000s also?
I think that's 2000s. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, that's a fun. I mean, like the same. Like I think it is John Cusack in that movie too. I think that's what's related. And there's a hotel involved. But like, it's like either that, it's a horror movie or a psychological thriller. But something is.
Oh, you're thinking of a different one. You're thinking of Identity.
Oh crap! Vacancy is with Luke, right?
Yep, Luke Wilson.
Yeah, sorry about that. But Identity is the one I was thinking of.
I actually had Identity on my list, but I don't know. That's not super horror like that. I mean, it kind of is.
Well, it starts out to make you think it is, and then it turns out to be a thriller, and then a very distinct psychological thriller. Not to spoil the movie, but they play with the genre.
Ooh. Oh, I was say for the 90s,
what about The Mist? What do you think about The Mist?
Sorry, Ocean, what's up?
Mist is good.
Yeah, The Mist. Yeah. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
Oh no, you're good. No, so M Night Shyamalan. Him just like popping up in the 90s.
Oh,
like, I saw Sixth Sense kind of recently, and that's like spooky. That's like freaky.
Yeah,
but back then, he was like
he's a hit or miss though. He's a hit or miss director.
M Night Shyamalan,
it's usually like every other movie is good type director. So it's like he's okay.
He definitely thinks his ideas are funny, but sometimes they're not, and sometimes they are. But
or he just executes them oddly.
Yeah, exactly.
He just has a weird way of doing things.
Because there's like some really good bad movies that come out in the early 2000s. because I think The Happening might have been 2009 or
Oh yeah,
2007.
yeah. That's
I like The Happening just because it's crazy and it's almost laughable. Like when they're in the field and they figure out that the disease travels through the wind through the plants, and they see it's so dramatic and it's so stupid because
It's
they're
so
all running
stupid.
right and there's no wind, it's dead, and they're running and running, and then they all look over and they just start bucking it, and they're just running and screaming, and I'm like,
Running
this
from
is
the
so
wind.
like, this is like the Birds type level of fucking no budget. Like M. Night Shyamalan just has a camera pointed at a forest and he's just waiting until there's a brisk breeze and
It's
a
like,
push play.
now run! Everyone's running spree.
It's so dramatic too, the way Mark Wahlberg and everything. I love that movie, but yeah, he's just not the best director, I wouldn't say. He has a couple that I really fuck with, like The Sixth Sense, and uh there's probably another I'm missing.
The original
Like
Unbreakable was really great.
Unbreakable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the franchise that
Unbreakable.
spiraled off from that, you could leave it. Take it or leave it.
But a lot of his stuff, like he ruined Avatar, The Last Airbender, ruined
Yeah,
that
thanks guy for
motherfucker.
that.
Ruined my childhood.
Ocean
Signs, Signs was ruined for me when I found the first time I watched it. I've never really watched it since. My girlfriend likes it because it's creepy and shit. But I'm like, the ending, bro, it don't make no goddamn sense because their big weakness is water, and our atmosphere is made up of water, and
exactly.
you're on a planet that's mostly made of water. I'm like, why the fuck did you come here?
Why did you do it? That's not even making sense. You didn't study at all. You're gonna take this planet over. Gotcha. Yeah.
Did you run out of gas, motherfucker?
Exactly. Stranded. I mean, if that would have been the twist, that would have been hilarious. They're not attacking at all. They're just trying to get some gas to get back off their planet and pass the human blood.
Yeah.
You know,
some crazy.
If human astronauts landed on another planet, they would take their clothes off, fully take their clothes off, and just get absolutely destroyed liquid. Just that.
Well, it depends. Is he from Florida? Because if he's from Florida, you probably go buck ass naked, walking around, fucking with people, find some bath salts on Mars, shit get to rocking.
M. Night Shyamalan was like, "Oh, why would they wear clothes? Why?"
Curtis, I'm surprised that you left Tremors off your 90s list.
I was going to ask about Tremors.
I had Jurassic Park.
I had the what?
In Jurassic Park.
Oh, I'm not the biggest Jurassic Park fan.
But you have to admit, like the
Tremors,
first one.
I got Tremors on there.
Okay, I got you.
It's good. The first Jurassic Park is good.
Yeah,
but the rest of
Spielberg
them
doesn't miss.
Ass.
Yeah, no, absolutely terrible. But the first one is actually a horror movie that has dinosaurs in it, which is one of the things I respect about that. Like he makes you love the characters, but it's also like this, Anyway, it's a slasher movie with dinosaurs.
I feel like it's a very Steven Spielberg-esque movie.
100%.
It's not. Like, you don't really see the dinosaurs eating the fuck out of people or anything. It's not like horror level.
That's true. Yeah, you're fair. He definitely cuts away.
It's very PG-13. It's like a just Hollywood movie. I never really think about it. It ain't up there for me. I mean, I like it. It's iconic.
Yeah.
But I'd be pissed if I went back and watched it thinking, oh, I'm going to see a dinosaur rip a dude in half. No, you're not. You might get swallowed.
Yeah, exactly. They tip him back. You see the legs flail up in the air. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I said we were going to rush through the 2000s, and then I stopped you. So, you have any other highlights? You like to call it?
Well, The Mist. I was talking about The Mist. Was the last one,
sorry.
Which that's a really cool movie.
Real creepy.
Different than the book.
Also, and the dude does the murdering, and that's, I think, the thing that's the creepiest thing about The Mist. It's like, what do you do in these circumstances? What human nature does. That's most of Stephen King is like how humans are more the creepiest creature, right?
Well, in the book, it basically just ends with them all like a happy ending. Like they drive out and then the army comes and it's all saved. But they changed it for the movie where he kills everybody, doesn't have enough bullets for himself, and he just accepts death. But then the army comes and it's like if you just would have waited You wouldn't have to killed your whole fucking family, and it's like that's a much more impactful ending. Stephen King really
Sure.
don't know how to end his fucking books. I'll say that.
Yeah,
He
he's
sucks at ending
definitely
his shit.
an overhyped writer in a lot of ways, in my opinion, as well. Um, he markets himself well, really, really well. So you have to give that to Steve. And I do, right? Because that's what has sold all his books. But
He has good
yeah,
stories, and he
and
has
he
a
has
good
some
beginning,
he has
middle.
really interesting
But
ideas.
the ending, he just
Yeah.
can't get the ending on.
Doesn't.
It's
Yeah.
wild. I mean, I haven't wrote a book. I don't know how I would end. Well, I mean, I would probably end the miss kind of like that.
Well, that I mean, you
Like,
gotta be
if I
like,
were
yeah,
writing it.
that's a cool conclusion. Yeah, before we got on the podcast, I was listening to a Norm Macdonald like stand up, and he was like, the worst thing about being a cannibal would be is as soon as you started digging into that dude, like a helicopter would come over the horizon and be like, hey, we've got supplies for you, and you would still be a cannibal.
Well,
So,
circumstantially, I feel like you'd have to get over it. Or I mean, unless it tasted really good, then you're fucked.
and then you're like,
once you
oh,
realize
man, I see what
humans
they
taste
did.
good,
Right?
like imagine if we are the best cut of meat,
Right.
and
It
that's
is
why
long
like
pork.
they're like, don't eat each other. If you figure this out, we're gonna have a problem.
We're gonna have a major problem.
Like once you
'Cause-
figure out that it's the main fucking it's the top notch steak cut is what human beings it. But I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't
We
think
have
I could do it.
Really poor diets.
Imagine the dirty like you're stranded somewhere, you're sweaty and nasty and like it wouldn't be cool eating somebody. It would be a lot of work.
I don't think
it would be gross.
Yeah. No, people just smell bad already.
You'd have to be hungry.
Like,
You'd have to be
smell
so
them
fucking
sweating,
hungry.
They're basically cooking already. That's what the food's going to taste like, is sweaty human beings. That's gross. You'd have to be really hungry.
Do you just start hallucinating and seeing your friends as fucking pigs and chickens, and you're like, you look fucking good right now. What? You guys said you look good.
Yeah, exactly. Your
Thanks.
boy definitely doing it. Yeah, thanks.
I've been reading a book called "Tender Is the Flesh," and
okay.
It's like.
Oh wait! Before we do anything, can we just before we get going, Human Centipede thoughts?
Sorry, Ocean.
Loathe it. Hey,
Loathe it.
Terrible.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Like, I just the idea, I'm like, so body horror to me is like super disgusting. And then the idea that they're like, let's push that as far as we possibly can and just be intentionally disgusting. I can't believe it has multiple movies, is the thing.
They got balls of steel to make that movie. And it somehow got a fandom.
And somehow has a fandom. And that's the part I find actually the most disturbing about it, is that people are like, yes, make more.
They like want to be campy, like they want to be like fun and silly and campy, and they get like more and more worse. Like I would watch the Terrifier movies. I'm not gonna watch the rest of the Human Centipede movies. They're not good. They're just like bad.
Now, Chris, the way that you're laughing makes me realize that you actually like it because it's so fucking disgusting.
Oh, it's fucked up, dude.
Like the same way that you like Pink Flamingos, right? Or a John Waters film.
That would be the equivalent to me, like, because I grew up with him, like Human Centipede, when I was in like middle school is when it dropped.
Right.
And my only other equivalent is like Two Girls, One Cup.
That's exactly the movie. That's it. I'm like,
it's not good to watch. You don't feel good about watching it, but you're like, I can't believe what I'm watching right now. Like, but you watch it anyway. Like they're fucking stapled to each other's asses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the premise.
And then the South Park episode, dude. The South Park episode, fucking, I can rewatch that bitch over and over again because it's hilarious. He's like, "Oh no, Caillou, I think I'm going." Caillou, oh, I'm like, dude. He's like, should I get to? He gave him like two choices, and then Kyle's all fucked and got a fucking thing around. He's like, he's like, okay, Kyle, I go for the Brussels sprout. Kyle, just fucking little Kyle's getting fucking like face raped with shit. I'm like, this is insane. This is fucking crazy.
It's so gross. That's the same thing. Okay, so you're hitting on what this whole Saw franchise does for me too. Like the first one's cool as an indie film. Cary Ellis comes in, he's getting taunted by this voice he can't see. He's got, they work out that they've had an affair and whatever the whole thing is. And so cool movie, right? And then it goes into basically like Human Centipede, but like with human traps. You know what I mean? And then it spirals off into Chris Rock, the detective, and you're just like, it's a hard thing for me to support as a movie franchise. Like it's probably one of the big 2000 series because I think they have like in 2000 they probably come out with 8 movies, right? Something like that.
I didn't like the Chris Rock one. I couldn't even get through it. He just wasn't he didn't seem like a strong enough character to be saying the things he was saying. Like Chris Rock. He's a tiny little wimpy black dude and he's talking a lot of shit and I'm like, you're just like, I don't even believe what you're like, someone should slap you. Ironically. But yeah, that movie sucked. I couldn't even get through it, but then they came back with that Saw reboot, that prequel movie. That was cool.
Okay, so Ocean,
Chris Rock wasn't the savior.
No, where are you landing on the Saw franchise in light of the Human Centipede conversation? Ocean, you there?
Oh, who, me? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was going to say, I think Saw might be like, because we talked like about a lot of different franchises that have ran for a long time.
Yeah.
Like Friday the 13th, like Nightmare on Elm Street, or like Final Destination, or like Scream. Saw ran long enough that I think directors changed a whole bunch.
Like I think almost every other movie, something like that.
Yeah, and it would have to, even if producers changed. I know James Wan did the first one. I think he was attached on producing all of them. But like, you probably have to take them on like a movie by movie basis of like, why did this get made? Like, did this just get made because 3D was a gimmick, or like, is this like trying to do a reboot, or is this one that they are doing like a twist to tie it to the first one again? Of like, because now they're all kind of rebooting and doing the same trope. Because like, I know what you did last summer is a sequel and it's doing what Scream did a couple of years ago, where it's like, oh, we're doing a cameo with the first actress from the first one, which Halloween did the same shit.
Okay, so, like, yeah, also, yeah.
Circles too.
Yeah.
Like,
so did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They all are in this little remake trope right now, but Saw, I'll give Saw that, like, even if they changed the directors that much, they somehow kept the spirit of the first Saw movie. And just like it never, like it was always Saw. Like there was never a change in tone. If anything, it got even more ramped up. Like I didn't even know that the lead singer from Linkin Park, Chris, fucking what the fuck's that guy's name? He killed himself. He's like the lead singer of Christian, or I can't remember his goddamn name.
Yeah,
but he was in a Saw movie. Yeah, Chester something, Chester, whatever the fuck his name is, Chester, whatever. He was in a Saw movie where he had Pennington. Like they glued him to a like the leather of a car, and he had to like take his skin off. Never even knew that was him until years later. I'm like, that's fucking dude from Linkin Park. That's crazy. That's a crazy cameo.
What they say about that is when you're crawling in your skin, your wounds will never heal. So. Sorry.
Dude, and it was bad. It was worse because he died at the end of it, and he like ripped his entire back off, and still died. And I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
But I love those movies. Those movies they get you like they're masterfully done. The effects and everything looks so real that you feel.
Yeah, you gotta get to that. Yeah, you feel those death traps, and they are creative for sure. Ocean, you were going to pipe up and say something. I jumped in.
Yeah, well, so and there's another franchise that like runs parallel to these. Hostel. I hate the Hostel movies.
Okay, exactly.
I feel like anything Eli Roth does is kind of sad and grim and disgusting, and is not the kind of horror I like. But I've watched a lot of Eli Roth, and I would rather do Saw because there's like a gimmick to each one. But Hostel is just like, here's slightly different people getting torture porn for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's
like,
fair. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you said you don't like Eli Roth. One of his movies is one of my favorites. I don't really like too much of him either, but he did do one that was really good.
Which one?
Called The Green Inferno.
Oh shoot, I've seen Green Inferno. That one's
You
rough.
you
That's a
mentioned this
rough movie.
off
That is
the rip.
crazy.
Give us a rundown real quick, because I don't even know if I know of this movie.
Green Inferno.
So you just look up it's either Green Inferno or The Green Inferno.
Okay.
And it's a remake of an old 80s movie,
Cannibal Holocaust.
Cannibal
Oh,
Holocaust.
okay, yeah, gotcha.
Where
I've
like
seen Cannibal
Eli
Holocaust.
Roth was inspired by that, wanted to remake it. And the premise is that a bunch of college kids want to go save the rainforest. So they go out to the tribal land to try and save the rainforest, and they do a little bit of shit, but then their plane goes down and they're in tribal land. They get abducted by the locals, and they're like natives, like they're living off the land. Fucking, they don't wear pants. They got the fucking little 2-inch fucking piece of paper on their dicks and shit, and they're cannibals. So they're slowly killing and torturing the college kids, and every death is crazy, looks crazy realistic somehow. Eli Roth nailed it. And there's a scene where one dude, he gets his eyes gouged out, his ears cut off, his tongue cut off, and then they proceed to fucking cut off all of his limbs. And it's all like a one shot somehow.
What?
So it's like, I don't know how they fucking did that. Like, that's very fascinating to me because it looks really real, but it's super gory, and you know, it's not super depressing. Like, it has an ending that is decent. Like, I don't know all of Eli Roth's movies, if they're all just bum and glum, but that has a good ending at least. It just takes a minute.
It's got a pretty long sequence of a woman shitting herself. Which is just
all right.
I think that was a pregnancy.
It's so that the thing that I want to see in a film more than anything else. Oh well, guys, we're at the last 10 minutes of this show, so we're gonna wrap up. And but this has been a really fun conversation. I know we have so much more horror to talk about. And Ocean, if you're interested, we might have you back on and talk some more horror. If you want to come hang out and talk with Curtis and I. You guys have any like wrap up thoughts about the genre in general, different things we haven't shouted out yet?
Honestly, man, we can talk about so much. It is endless at this point. You know what I'm saying? So there's too much to talk about. Like, horror has evolved, but it's always remained somewhat the same in spirit. And everybody that ever makes like a horror movie, like if you meet a director or anybody that's involved with these new horror movies, they'll say the same shit about all these. There's so many films and movies that these directors are inspired by that it'll keep going. It will live forever.
Oh, you talk about all the movies that came before them, right? Like that's what horror directors will say is like, it was because of the previous movies that I wrote my movie. Yeah. And it definitely, it continues to grow and change.
Oh yeah. And that's just the art form. It's always going to be awesome to talk about horror movies. There's always going to be one coming out. There's one coming out this weekend. Me and Ocean want to go see. So there's always.
You guys are close enough. You could meet up.
Yeah.
Just
go watch Weapons.
Weapons. Gotcha. So, Ocean, do you have any final thoughts on horror or any of the other topics we've covered tonight?
Yeah, it's so close to comedy. Like, they're very related to each other.
That is my thought. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love, like, 80s are great. 80s are personally like a ton of my favorite movies. I've seen so many good ones from like 2010 onward. Like, I feel like every year there's like something new that's awesome that I didn't know or was expecting. And like,
do you think that has anything to do with us being adults? Because like, as you get older, like we just need something to do. Like when they say like you go out to the bar on St. Patty's Day, it's an excuse to drink. There's a new movie that came out. We go and watch it. It might not be the best, but it's like, it's new. It's different. It's something unique that we haven't seen yet. But like as kids, we're more like subjective to it. It's like, because there's a ton of shit I seen as a kid that I was like, that's stupid. Just flip the channel. Like, but now I could watch anything because I'm just bored. Like,
right, you've seen a lot
through
of things
adulthood, I've
already.
seen everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, I'm not so picky anymore. I can watch anything now.
We have access to a lot more, and there are
Right.
more. There's a lot easier access for people around the world to make their own films.
Also true.
And like I love listening. I love like folk music in other countries, and I love other countries' horror stories. Like outside of just movies, I love horror short stories. I love horror novels. I love horror comic books and video games.
Yeah.
Like just the more that have, yeah, the more people that have access to put their flavor on the genre. It just
That's also like that's also a thing that has me like conflicted, because I love the movie industry and I love films and I love supporting shit, but movies also haven't been the greatest. So I pirate a lot of my films that I watch. I'll just put like, fuck, I don't want to go to the theater for that. I'm not going to waste a whole, because when you think about it logically, you're like, okay, I got to go out, be me and my girlfriend. That's like $20 for tickets. That's 25, 30 for fucking food or whatever. If we want to get drinks, that's another $20. I'm like, that's almost $100 night to go see a movie. And when it's shit, I am so like the experience is cool, but it's like I could have did this at home for so much less.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like, so I pirate everything unless I really want to go see a movie. If I really think it's going to be good, I'll go out and support it. But other than that, I don't even know what took me so long, because back in the day when in high school and college, I pirated so many movies, and then I eventually got all these streaming services and just didn't have to and didn't think about it, even though it's a click away. And then I just said, fuck it, these things are expensive. I was like, I can literally watch anything online.
Right.
And that's crazy. To be paying like fucking and then people pay like $200 a month and to get the same thing I'm doing. It's so insane. And I don't know if it's people don't know about the pirating stuff because they just don't look into it or don't know people that know pirating. But I feel like everybody like that I know, they'll give me a new pirating site. They'll be like, oh, I use this one. I'm like, oh shit, I guess there's another one. It's fucking infinite fucking piracy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean that is it. Yeah. It doesn't go back to the artist, but in a lot of times it's not going back to the artist anyway. It's going back to the studio who's doing the marketing.
And another thing that kills me is that people don't even understand budgets. Like they will go and they'll look at a budget for a movie. They'll Google a budget of whatever it is. They'll say like 30 million. That was the budget that Google popped up. And then they'll go to the box office, and the first week it'll be like fucking 30 million. And they're like, oh my God, well, it's already made a profit. All you people that said it was going to bomb are wrong. And it's like, well, you don't really know what you're talking about, sir, because you haven't put in that the theater takes half of that 30, so they're really at 15. Plus, there's a marketing budget, which is half of the regular budget, so that's another 15 on top of that 30, so it's really a 45. So they haven't even made any money yet. But people don't even know any of that, so they just boast out that, oh, this movie's doing great. Like, it's not. It's not doing good yet. You have to give it a sec. And in a lot of movies, they'll have one good weekend. The next weekend, it'll drop 70%. And they're doing like chump change for a month to try and break even. And then when you get these big projects where your budget's like 300 million, it's over with. You're not going to make it, bro. Superman and Fantastic Four are both going to bomb. And people just can't fathom that. They're like, but they're big movies and got Pedro Pascal. How can it bomb? Right. It's like you have a $300 million budget, 500 or whatever. You're not going to cut it, dude. You have to make $1 billion to make a lot of money, like to be a success. And they're just not going to happen. You know, it's unrealistic expectations with the box office. But that is hilarious when they just don't understand what the box office is. Like, people don't even know that the theater takes half. I never really knew that until like years and years ago. Because I always heard the theaters only make their money off of concessions.
No, what? No.
That's a blatant fucking lie. Yeah, they're taking half the cut of whatever is sold. I'm like, that is. I feel lied to.
Well,
It's
that
like a
is
ploy to
where
get me to buy popcorn.
that's where we're gonna wrap up this episode tonight. That was a good. These are thoughts with Curtis Wolff, who is our co-host here on Flicking with Skip. You can find him on YouTube at Curtis. I'm sorry, at Wolf 1201, and then at TikTok again.
Yep. Wolf_productions.98.
.98. We've been here with Ocean Alvarado, who is a new good friend of ours. And Ocean, if you want to shout out any of your socials, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm just Ocean Alvarado. The venue I work at is called Cups of Art, Cups of Art Tea Room. They're also on Facebook. I would say follow them too.
That is awesome. So, guys, check that out. Thank you for coming with us through this podcast. We really do appreciate you guys. Check out contentspace.com to get involved in all the ways that you can, the Discord, Facebook, and Patreon. We really do appreciate it. Ocean, thank you for being here with us. It's been a lot of fun. I hope we get to see you soon. Curtis, man, we can talk about movies all day long.
This was awesome, dude.
I'm so excited about next week and what we're going to do. So, yeah, guys, tune back in and we will see you all soon. Bye.